Hello.
How are we doing? How are we doing, gentlemen?
All right, thank you. All right.
Hey,
That's fine.
you guys good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All is good, thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I can see that image is coming through very well there, sir.
Sorry?
I can see that image is coming through very well there. That's awesome.
No,
That's awesome.
I'm just planning something. I'm planning something. I told you something's got to change.
I know, I know. You are definitely working on something
Hmm.
specific, isn't it?
Yeah, and some things have changed behind you as well.
Let me just close it. All right, there we go. Uh, yeah, there we go. Say again, sorry.
I said some things seem to have changed behind you, or is it because I'm seeing them for the first time?
I am not sure where you've been all this time.
No. And you've been blocking all the nice things behind you. That's
Oh
all.
man, oh man. Now
Yeah.
we always try to kind of be a little bit creative because it's like I'm getting some all good information from behind me. It's like, yeah, feed me some more. Oh, Mr. Richie, you're back. Thank you, sir.
Yes, yes. Can
Yeah.
Good
can
to
you hear
see
me?
you, gentlemen.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir. We can hear you.
Lovely, lovely.
We can hear you.
A bit of light.
Well, I'm excited. It's is that, but time the week just goes so quick. It's just
Yeah.
whoa. It feels like we just had a conversation yesterday.
Mm.
Wow, wow.
Okay.
But we are back, and we are going to continue our conversation, just talking about making our dreams a reality, and the importance of not giving up and staying on it. And last week we had an amazing conversation. We obviously started off by talking about whether you and I are really owning our dream or whether we are living somebody else's dream. In all the different kind of excuses that we can make and all of the obstacles, regardless of what it might be. That those things that come to steal our dream and to kill it. So we're just gonna just pick up and just continue with that. And obviously we did mention that sometimes we feel that dreams don't come to truth for ordinary people like you and me. But then Mr. Chido broke that dissect that one very nicely for us, that we have to step into the extraordinary. Shadow boo boo, run the boo boo. I felt that one. it's like it's
Hallelujah.
like it's like you might think that you are ordinary, but when you get into that zone of being extraordinary, because that's where things happen. That's where, if you like, that's where the magic takes place. And that's where we need to kind of like push towards to know that I'm not ordinary. You might think I'm ordinary, but there's something. If I put my hand to it, it turns into gold. And I think we have to believe that about ourselves. And
Yes.
because for us to actually see our dream become a reality, um, we have to go against the odds. People won't see what you see, but regardless of what is showed up in the physical realm, we have to continue to push on. Yeah, make sure we clean our glasses nicely so that but continue to work out our dreams, and it does not promise that it's going to be an easy journey, or even a straightforward journey, but it is possible. It is absolutely possible. We also touch on that. Sometimes when we feel like the dream is not big enough, if it's not a big dream, it's not worth pursuing. That's a lie, because what might seem to be a small thing to you might be is a huge thing to me. And if I put down my life to that specific dream, it might take me a month or 2 years or a lifetime, but it's my dream. It's my dream, and you and I have to own it. We have to own our dreams, and that's where we kind of like, those are the kind of like the highlights, if you like, that we touch on. But this evening, what I want us to kind of like just the direction I would like us to go into is how to take ownership, because we know that we spoke about and we asked the question whether or not you are actually owning that dream. But if you are courageous enough to have answered that, now how can you and I get to a place that we take ownership of our dream? Then obviously there's a couple of things that you and I can ask ourselves is now, or kind of like, let's just use a few pointers here that we can use as a place where we can actually center the discussion around. The question is this, or the statement rather, we gotta be willing to bet on ourselves. We gotta be willing to bet on ourselves. So what do we mean by betting on ourselves? Because I think sometimes the challenge is that we feel like we are not up to, or let me put it like this: you and I may succeed if nobody else believes in you, or you may succeed if nobody believes in you, but you will never succeed if you don't believe in yourself. What do you guys think about that statement? How important is it for you and I to really believe in ourselves? I know it might be an answer that is kind of like, Kendrick, obviously I have to believe in myself, but I think that it goes deeper than just me saying that. So can we let's touch on that. If you have to rank believe in yourself, if you have to put it somewhere where in terms of its importance, how important do you guys think it is for us to believe in ourselves, to actually see our
We're at the top.
right at the top.
Oh well. Oh well. That's a
Professor.
very, very important. I just thought this is really important that I had to put on my glasses.
Bro, now you've gone to a complete different level now. I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah. A former colleague said, if you want to get things done, just put on your glasses and go to the guys and tell them that they have to get on with it, and they actually do it. So that's why I have put this on. But then coming to your question, like Clinton has demonstrated there, I think he spoke first before me. He doesn't understand that. It's right on top of it, because even if you look at if you look at some of the books, all the books that Paul wrote, for example, because I want to use the Bible as an example.
Yeah.
You look at all the books that Paul wrote, he starts with a preamble telling you who he is. And then he will tell you what his mission is. So if I'm coming to you, and if I'm meeting you for the first time, and I come to you and I say, I want you to show me I've been sent to work with you, without telling you who I am. What is that? You're just going to give way and just think, this guy must be looking for somebody else, not me. This is very weird, But when you come in and announce yourself to say, oh, I'm that guy that's been, my name is Chidozie, I'm that guy that's been sent to help you solve number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you've seen someone. Now, you didn't see me because there's a name written on my head. I have told you my name, and I've also talked about my capability. Yeah. Now, if I need help in delivering that particular role there, you now know how to help me. And it's the same when it comes to dreams. You have a dream. I don't care if you have a dream, because it's not my dream. It's, until you tell me that this is your dream, and you have been given that duty to deliver that dream, then it's difficult for anybody to help you. If you go into a place and you see yourself as nobody, you don't even want to be seen.
Yeah.
How are people going to, begin to even the most compassionate person will not even see you before you think about before you let alone help you. So that's how crucial it is. There is no way that any dream can be taken seriously if it does not have an owner, because it's the owner that knows what the makeup of the dream is. Where is it coming from? Why should I support you, for example? Why should I regard you? Or even if I'm a messenger, who sent you? Why should I listen to you? But if you don't introduce yourself, if you don't show ownership of that particular dream by making it clear to people, explaining the depth, sometimes it won't make sense. That's the other thing. You will have to go through 200 people before anybody starts to make sense of what your dream is. And in some cases, those you did not need to go through those 200 people to get there, but it just depends on how clear you can see that dream. Because one of the things that makes us that intimidates us about dreams is the fact that it's really hard. Sometimes you begin to see the edges of that dream. You can see the edges. You can see a silhouette of that dream, but you can't really quite explain what it is. But if those dreams are going to be actualized, you need to start talking about them based on the level of your vision. What can you see now? It's okay, because what you've seen is sufficient for now to start igniting that dream. And then you continue to push until you begin to see more. You begin to see more. You begin to see more. And the more you see, the better you explain it. And you find that that's why most organizations that have succeeded today, I watch Dragon's Den sometimes. Sometimes those people come into the den, they can't explain what it is that they're selling. But if you look at the history of all those ones who did not succeed, there were some that left the den and they became a runaway success because they weren't able to explain the dream. Not because the dream was not valid, but because there was not proper ownership of that dream inside the den. But that experience helped them to unravel the next layer of what they can see about that dream. Then they're taking the next step, and they're taking the next step. By the time they get to where they're going to, you will find out that the initial people that you spoke to about your dream will say, "Oh, Kendrick, why didn't you tell me all these things about this thing?" But at that time, you wouldn't know any of these things. So it's just about understanding that this is number one. Yes, it's frustrating because it's your dream. Most of us are given dreams that have not been carried out by anybody at all. The ones that will really, really make you extraordinary, like we're talking about earlier, are the ones that have not been carried out by anybody. So not everybody will understand it. But don't be intimidated. Don't be discouraged. Continue to peel out the layers of those onions until very soon you will begin to see clearly. And by the time you get to where you're going to, people will look back and say, "Oh, what a guy. He's been very, very persistent. He's persevered through all those, wilderness of, I'm not sure. I don't understand what you're talking about. And look where he is right now. It's all becoming clear." And dreams continue to evolve.
Absolutely.
It continues to evolve. But there has to be that ownership. As it begins to branch out to this, to that, continue to own it, continue to follow it through wherever it's going, because it's got to, if you can show the foundation of your dream, then you will be able to follow through whichever direction it's going and it will produce the results that you expect that that dream will yield for you. I will yield the mic to somebody else.
Absolutely. That's like one point, man. What it kind of like reminds me of is the very familiar story of this guy called Joseph. A guy that that all of us, we know the story, but he had a dream of that, the moon and the stars bowing down in front of him, and he had the courage to go and tell it to everyone in the circle, everybody that, and he expected, when I open my mouth and I share my dream, everyone will rejoice and say, yes, come on. No, that's not that's not usually the case. And I think that is one of the things that we must probably have to be very much aware of, is that walking out our dreams will be it can be one of the most loneliest journeys that you and I will ever have to walk. It will not be forever like that, but there is going to be a season where we are going to experience, where we are being isolated, where we are being the outcasts, where we are the ones that is like, who do you think you are? Like, what you ruling and reigning? Go and rule and reign yourself. and that's the truth of the matter. But I think the key is, that's where it comes down to us being at a place where we have to not only believe in our dream, because just believing in what we're carrying on the inside of us is, I think, it's not good enough. We have to believe that, believe in ourselves, that we are able, because the thing is, if we can even think about something specific, which means you are already equipped to outwalk that dream. There might be some tools that might not be that you and I might not be aware of at that specific time, but the very fact that you can dream it, the very fact that you and I can see something, or God doing something with our life, means that that we are well able. And I think that's where the challenge is lying, because our greatest enemy is not people out there. It's not the devil. It's not the lack of money. It's not the lack of resources. That's not our greatest challenge. Our greatest challenge is what is going on here in our minds, because we're fighting battles on a day-to-day basis. And why are we fighting those battles? Because those battles are there to stifle our dream, and to make us shut up, make us stay quiet. It's there to tell you, no, why are you opening your mouth? Just stay in the corner there, and people will be happy to assign a chair for you and tell you to sit down. Don't move until we tell you to move. And sometimes we are foolish enough to obey, and we are foolish enough to kind of like, oh yeah, you are right, I have no business, I don't have the experience, I am young, or I'm old, or I am not wealthy enough, or I am black, or I am white, or whatever you and I want to put in the equation. But all of these things, it's a day-to-day, it's a fight that we have to continue to fight. That's why the word is even saying that, we got to fight the good fight of faith, because our dream is something that we have to walk out by faith. We can't see it right now, and which means if it's not visible, it's something that we are doing by faith. And it's like, yeah, it's not a stroll in the park. It's not a stroll in the park. Anything from you, Mr. Richie?
It's interesting listening to those points, and I think very, very, very good. I want to put a slight spin on it, and I want to start with Christ himself. When Christ's whole journey, even before he could dream as a human, I want to make it clear that only the people who believed in his dream, even before he could be here, understood what they were doing. And you realize, based on what's written and recorded in the Bible that we know of, most of us know of, it's very few people. the rest of people trying to think, well, how could this be? She had to go and have another man. How on earth did she? Who? Holy who? What? I'm painting a picture to show you that there are prerequisites if you're really going to believe and plan to take ownership. Prerequisites are things like confidence, not in others, just in the fact that your dream applies to you. So you have confidence in all the other smaller things that go with that, which is, that motivation and that passion to feel that, well, yes, this definitely is for me. So although this dream somehow tells me that the typical person needs a PhD or needs a master's degree or needs to have done a particular course or need to actually know somebody within the government, right? That's not the case. It just, like you said, it starts with you, and it starts with what you create in your head. Those are prerequisites. Now, if those prerequisites are fulfilled, as they say, all being equal, so those prerequisites are in place, you believe in yourself as a person that you can do this thing. You feel passionate enough about it. And when I want to use the word feel very lightly, although I mentioned it, because dreams have very little to do with feelings. Dreams has much more to do with discipline. So you will, as a human, feel the passion, but you may not feel like executing the things to make the dream a reality. And that's the part I said I want to be careful about feelings. Let me go back to Christ. So even when he was being born and they said to follow the star, you realize that the amount of people who really believed in this was the wise men. A lot of people never really believed in all of this stuff. They were curious about it. So that's another mental note to make. There are a lot of people who are going to be curious about it. And another mental note to make is that every little group that I'm making here have a significant role to play in the success of your dream. You have to understand how to position them like pieces on a chessboard and play them. You play with them. And I'm talking about playing with the odds against your dream. What other people may see as odds that threaten and try to stifle it, you see as odds that propel you. Because they should provoke you to prove to yourself, not to them, that you can do this. And you use that as steps on your stairs. Because I'm hoping that when you're working towards fulfilling your dream or working on your dream, now you're going up. If you're going down, that's a problem. Yeah. And the reason I'm painting this picture to you with a whole different spin to a lot of how we've done it is because my own life has taught me to act this way. And the second thing is that when you begin to do that, you attract people who will help you to realize that dream. They will not care whether or not you have the resources. They just care that you believe that you can get there, that you can do it. So you might get up and break your toe, but you're so passionate, mind you, again, I'm putting quotes around the word feel, if you want to throw the word feel. Because feel, it is very good to have human feelings. But if you feel tired, you feel lazy, you don't, you quickly got to check and see whether there's discipline you need to throw in the bag here to curb this feeling thing. Because you now got to realize that if you translate, that's actually that's more of English than mathematics. I'm trying to find a mathematical word. If you somehow manage to transfigure, is that a mathematical word? The point is, if you manage to just for a moment assume that you've got 10 years, 10, 20, 40 more years left on this earth, and then change that into seconds and have it on a thing counting down, you begin to see how important you must change feelings into discipline. Yeah, because you realize time is against you. And then if you put in that picture somewhere the potential that, let's for one moment pretend here that your dream is to make the first aeroplane. I know that's already made, but you begin to see how many people get blessed. So your delay is delaying the blessing for other people. Sorry, I'm just hearing an alarm. So what the picture I'm trying to paint here is, I can't remember where in the Bible it said it, but I know it said it. So the people weren't believing in something, and they weren't believing in Christ. And they wanted to know, who is this Christ? And he said, well, what do they say I am? And they come up, well, they say you're this, they say you're that. He said, well, just tell them that I am. I am that I am. Yeah. Now, that's interesting. If you ask somebody to introduce, who are you? What do you do? Before you know it, you already write half a book by saying who you are. Here's this guy, uses 2 words. Actually, 2 words, and, says it twice. I am that I am.
Yeah.
Whoa. I mean, can you beat that? So what I'm trying to paint a picture here, and watch his journey throughout. He knew that he would have to die for his dream. He knew that he would have to carry the brunt of it. He knew people will show up and say they got his back and say that we will do it. But those people can probably slice out an eye and not flinch. So the picture I'm trying to paint to you is, number 1, there is a prerequisite. If you're going to get serious about this and say, well, look, your dream is to be a chef. There are different types of chef, okay? But you decide you're going to be a chef. Number 1, don't go and say, I want to be like Gordon Ramsay. Don't go and say, I want to be like this one. You can say he inspires me and this particular thing inspires me. You got to be you. Prepare to be you. What you see as your shortcoming, if you want to keep identifying it as that, other people are going to see it as a blessing. So rather than focus on all of the points, I used to do it myself. No, I don't. People say, so what do you do? And I say, I do digital marketing with a focus on e-commerce development and app development. Yeah. And then I used to find myself years ago and say, but I don't focus on, who asked you about but? Keep your butt out. Focus on the dream. And every time you find yourself putting in a negative, focus on that and say to yourself, you know what, hey, did that need to be here? Why did I spend so much time trying to say that? One, understand you need a prerequisite. And the prerequisite is you. Two, you're going to feel all sorts of negatives, whether they be emotion, vibes, all sorts. They will happen. How do you use them? Because they're tools. They're not things to focus on. They're just tools. How do we use them? You simply use them as stepping stones. That's what we do.
That's right.
Right? You use them. Listen, if more than ever, get excited. I know this sounds bizarre and stupid because it sounds like drama. And no. If people come with certain things to you, all you've got to do practically when you're doing with this, be happy that you spotted. Why? Because if it irritates some people and then some other people love it, it means you're doing something right. Don't be afraid to make mistakes when it comes to your dreams. All of this is part of taking ownership. Because when you get this to a level where you are working on the dream, you are stepping over and stepping above and going beyond, you get to a point where you've put in all the hard work and you begin to attract people now at certain levels because they see that you have what it takes to do this thing. And they think that, listen, actually, if I do this for this guy, he could go far. Let me bring it home now. How do you think people who want to sing, who want to be actors and actresses, how do you think that these people get recognized? You ask any person who is a singer and have got parents our age, who you always tell them, get a real job. Ask a person who is trying to be a footballer. Ask a person who is trying to be an acrobat. Yeah. But they believe in this thing so much that they go out. A basketballer. Yeah. Because some people do not have the help of all these people backing them. They have all the help of the people against them. And they say against the odds. But they had used the odds to really propel them, because you get to a point to say, well, what can I lose now? I've been through so much.
Yeah.
You don't matter. You don't matter. You don't matter. If some of us have had the opportunity to watch a movie called Cool Runnings with some guys from Jamaica, the bobsled guys. Yeah. Actually, that was featured as something here, actually, in the UK, a year or something back anyway. The point of that practically is that parents were against, this body was against, but these guys believe that we are the bobsled guys, we come from Jamaica, we can do this, da, 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 da. They believed in their heart. And everything looked as though it was going to come and crush, but they believed it. And boom. Yeah. So when you're going for a job, a ton of times, 99% of the time, you could come with all this colored fancy CV. 10 degrees by age 26. Okay. But then they ask you, so tell us a little bit about you. And you start talking about and like. And No. You going for a senior management position. But you have a different conversation. Now, all of a sudden, you either have gone outside the pile long before you've gone through the door, or you've gone to the bottom of the pile. And if they can't find somebody, they come to you, they offer you the worst offer ever. But be guaranteed that as soon as they could find somebody, you're out the door because of what you put in here for you, and whatever's here is going to come out.
Yeah.
If you feel that you're not enough, you're not whatever, it's going to come out. So my urge to you is to take ownership of your dream. Make sure you fulfill your own prerequisite. It's very simple. Do I think I can do this? Not I believe. Do I think I can do this? Not I am fit enough to do it. I have what it takes to do it. We'll get to that point. Do I think I can do it? Yeah, I can do that. Cool. Have you ever done it before? No. And somebody tries to talk you out. Listen, if somebody's trying to talk you out and you so believe this thing, switch off.
Yeah.
So
you might.
That's what I want to share. And if you've never read the story of Jesus or looked at the story of Jesus, by all means, please do, because you'll begin to see it wasn't just people in his village. Yeah. If you think you've got issues, there's the whole world against Jesus.
Yeah.
So if you think that you are working at somewhere and there are 5 people who don't like you, you don't even have a problem.
Yeah.
And I'm not dismissing it as in dismissing you and what you may see as an issue. I'm trying to show you carefully that if you begin to view it with a different perspective, through a different lens, you could not only protect your dream, but preserve the outcome that God have in place for you. But if you take the wrong thing in, you can change the whole outcome. Because and the reason I did all these antics is because when you start thinking it in here, you begin to speak it. And the Bible says you have what you say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that. There's something that you just mentioned about, when you kind of like try to project your dream, to those around you. And sometimes the question comes up, what do you do? Because it's kind of like a natural thing with us humans to define who a person is based on what they do. But the reality of it is that you are not what you do. I am, say, if my identity, if I believe that my identity is rooted in being a doctor or being a lawyer or being whatever you want to put in the equation. So if you say, all right, I'm the best surgeon in the world, my hands, I can precision, man. When I go into the, so who are you then when you lose the using of your hands? Who are you then? Because now our identity is rooted in, or is kind of like I basically say I am what I do. So the question that I think is even a good place to kind of like, just pause fast. So how do you, if we have to say then our identity, what should it be based on? Because remember now, our confidence comes from what we believe. Because if I have a certain belief, it will cause, because I can tell what you believe, you can tell what I believe based on my actions. I can tell you as much as I like, but if you really want to believe what I'm saying, it's like, look at whether what I'm saying, whether it's corresponding with what I'm on the actions that I'm taking. Now, I think obviously we can take it to the extreme, like what I've just mentioned, that people can they can kind of like put an identity on you based on what you do as a person, whether it's in terms of a career or. So what are your guys' thoughts on that? Because I think that kind of like really bothered me, man, because I think we need to strike the right balance on that, because I don't believe that you and I, our identity is not rooted in what we do. So then how do we get rooted in? What are your thoughts on that, guys? What are your
Look,
thoughts on that?
I need to jump on it because I've got some fresh things on my head. So I'm jumping on this. And the reason I'm going to jump on this is very clearly this.
Yeah.
We got Christ
Mm.
and we got, this is my approach at the moment.
Yeah.
We got Christ and then we got, in the Caribbean, as you say, the old folks say.
Mm.
Interesting, yeah? And what the old folks said is quite equal to Christ's behavior.
Mm.
My belief is it's rooted in what you're becoming.
Okay.
Because you're continuously evolving. Right? Today I could be a doctor, tomorrow I could be studying to be a lawyer. What am I?
Mm-hmm.
A doc lawyer?
Yeah.
Now,
Doc
here
lawyer.
why I said Christ. Why were they always keen?
Go for it.
Why were people always keen to know who was Christ's inner circle?
Mm.
A huge question there. Fast forward, fling forward to what the old folks say. Show me your friends and I tell you who you are. Interesting.
That one is fresh, yeah. Yeah. So go into that, because now if our identity now is rooted in who we hang around with, yeah, go for it because
right. So where I'm going from is that who you are depends on what you feed yourself with.
Mm-hmm.
You are what you eat, not necessarily just this.
Mm-hmm.
What you eat, you can eat with your eye, eat words with your eye.
Yeah.
You eat with this, you eat with your senses. So you are what you eat. And that is literally true. That is it. And what you consistently, with discipline, feed yourself, that's who you really are. I am not a lawyer. I am not a doctor. It doesn't matter if you have a PhD. Some people who have all these things to their names are some of the foolish people you could find on earth. Yeah. So who you really are, who you feed, what you feed yourself with. Now, what you feed yourself with will attract who is around you, which will feed again back into who you are and who you're becoming. So it sounds like if I've just made it more complicated, but I'm telling you the root of where this whole thing comes from. The reason why you'll have a conversation that goes along the lines of, so Kendrick, tell me what sort of business you do. And then you spent time telling me that, and probably you did it well, or you did it not that well to how I feel. It has nothing to do how well you actually did. It's always how the person you're talking to feel. And then that person's don't feel happy with that. So they'll be like, so like who and who you work for? Or who have you done this? What is it you're saying again? And they're not trying to get to that inner. And then in this day and age, they will ask you questions like, they may not use these exact words, but who do you follow? Who do you they're talking about social media, they're talking about who gives you the motivation, inspiration. They're coming from those angles. Why are they coming from those angles? They're really trying to get to the bottom of who the hell you really are, despite all the stuff you said. Some people, especially academic people, they love to quote the books read. That will instantly tell them exactly what level you're at mentally. And they can wrap rings around you with words. The banking institution does exactly that. A lot of those guys that have the very top jobs may know some stuff, but they don't know it necessarily know it at the deep level of the person practicing it every single day. But they use the words because they feed on that and they've studied that. The guy who's practicing it every day. Let's say the guy who's actually the day trader trading there. Yeah. He may know some stuff. He understands the nitty-gritty. The guy who is managing and the manager above that manager, completely different guy. So when you talk to one level, he explains it and he goes on and on. You talk to another level, he explains it completely different. Does that mean that the day trader knows less than the guy all the way at above there? Actually, no, he knows a lot. But the way in which he feeds himself and processes himself is very different to the guy who is all the way at a higher management level. So I'm answering a question with a greater set of questions, which is unusual. But the question really I want to get to is, of questions, do you think you are who you are becoming because of how you're feeding yourself?
Is that a
And is
question?
that feeding of yourself inspired by the people that you're following? Do you have followers? Those are the questions. And for me, I think that's what begins to define who you really are. And this is why, in my view, Christ's main focus for all of us was, come with me and I'm going to teach you how to be fishers of men.
Brother is preaching. Brother is preaching. I'm telling you, wait. Please, offering time now. Offering time. Sorry, man.
Don't put coins in there, okay? I don't want to hear cliche.
No. Sorry, then shut the door. Nobody's leaving until the offering bucket. Sorry. I'm just kind of like just messing about.
Oh my goodness.
You want to jump in there? Go for it, sir.
No, absolutely. I've just spent this time just listening to Quentin's answer to this question, and what's amazing is how it's revolving around the same thing. If I was told to answer that question, which is, who do you think you are? I would still go back to the same place how Christ was describing who the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, for He's anointed me to do. So, who are we really? It's got no profession. I don't think it has any profession. I don't think it has any of those descriptions that we're talking about. But it's got a mission. That's what's there. Who am I? I am that person who believes that I've been called to transform people, to help people get out of the corners that they are, to help people unlock their potential and become more and pursue more of what really matters and become who they are made to be. You see, help people fine tune their mission, their vision, and suggest steps to begin to walk towards that. Now, Clinton talked about what are we becoming? It's what we are feeding ourselves. It's who we are following. Part of is it making us who we are becoming, and so on and so forth. I may have got it wrong there, but I'm just paraphrasing. But all these things, they still are not who we are. If my friends are thieves, if my friends are bad, I'm not bad because my friends, nobody's going to, if I get caught without my friends in that mission, I'm going to be called a thief. I'm not going to be not called a thief because I'm not with those my friends. You see. So what it is that consciousness of the fact that we all need to realize who we are, that it's actually a mission. So I might be called to transform lives, but I do that as an engineer. I might be called to transform lives. I might do that as a preacher man. I might be called to transform lives. I might be called, I might do that as a cleaner. I might do that as a waiter. I might do that as a security person who is just there smiling at kids coming in through the gate and saying, "How was your night? Yeah, welcome. The sun is going to come out today. I hope you make the best of today. Go, 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 go. Come on, guys, you're a bit late. Come on, let's hurry up, hurry up." That's his job for the day. But it's not just, he isn't a security person, or he isn't a support or a welcome teacher. He is a transformer of lives, because what he's doing, his mission there is actually to change lives. Forget about who he is, in quote. And that's why, throughout the Bible, Jesus tried to redirect us from those professions of who this person is and who that person is, because it's all about the mission. Identifying that mission and now being equipped or equipping ourselves to now pursue that mission. But right now, the best way to describe who we are is in prophetic terms, which is, this is what my mission is, and that's where I'm heading. And that way, it's very easy to know if they're going to become, because we will become. Who I was yesterday is not who I am now, because I've lost some knowledge, I've gained some knowledge.
Yeah.
But what will impact you when you meet me is the mission that I'm pursuing. And that's what really does the job. So who are you? Who are you is based on what you're pursuing. Because the results you're going to produce in the course of that pursuit is what will impact the next person. I don't want to know who you are because I just want to know. I like hearing what people are. Most times people ask who you are because they want to see how you can work together. They want to see how you can help them. They want to see how they can support you. Do you see? People are not just going around looking, oh, okay, I know this certain number of people, this certain number of... There's a reason for knowing who you are. So if we take that view, then we begin to change the way we look at who we are and look and now see that mission, because that's what is driving us. Because when you do business with people, what's the first thing you think of is what is their motivation, isn't it? That's the key thing. You may want to do a certain type of deal with somebody who is seriously result oriented. You might want to do other deals with somebody who is not money oriented because you want to produce results. And you know that if one focuses more on money, then you may miss the mark and not produce a result. Do you see? So if somebody says, "Who are you?" That's the best way to say it. And we refer to the example of Jesus. All the things that he said in who he is had not been done at the time he said it. That was the first time he went to the temple. He just got in there and asked for the scripture, and he read those out. And then he went on to become that. If somebody says to you, "I am this person who is into building wealth," then if you're building wealth, what do? You follow him. If you're building righteousness in a certain other type of way, you don't follow them. If they are building houses and you're not interested in houses, you just say goodbye, all the best with your house building. But I want to follow somebody who is building wealth. I want to cut across all those house building and all those nonsenses. I just want the money. That's who I'm following. Do you see? And that's what actually makes our dream happen, because now people know what we're about. But beyond that, they will now be able to build up some form of motivation around who we are and know that this is the type of person I'm pursuing. And they will stick around. They will be able to help you. They will be able to support you. They'll be able to tell others about you, because sometimes what you have is not what I'm looking for. But if I come across somebody who I think is looking for what you have, guess what? I'm going to say, I know a man that is this person. Their dream is to liberate so and so who are being bothered by the shackles of worldliness or something and something. They have not done all of it, but I know somebody who is working in that area. So you go and join the queue. He might be able to help you as part of the bigger mission. I know I've used a very long, I've tried to explain it in a very long way, but I'm hoping that yourselves and whoever gets to listen to this begins to see. Because if you ask me now, who are you? Now you run a business, you're a father, you studied a certain profession, so I can add that to your name. You're a Christian. By the way, Christianity is a full-time job. It's just sometimes we don't understand that that's what it is, and that is a profession as well. You are a Christ follower. That means whatever the mission of Christ is, you're trying to emulate that and do that. That can be a full-time job for somebody. And you think about it, you have a podcast, you're a teacher, you're a trainer, you are, when you finish counting, by the time you finish going through all these things, the person has left the room and is already telling the other person to say, hey, listen, there's this guy, that one in the blue suit. this guy is something else. I don't know what it's all about. But guess what? When you meet people and say, I am in the business of helping people to achieve more in their lives. I am in the business of helping people build a profitable business. That instigates a conversation, and you start that conversation, and then you get to where you can help that person, because you help as somebody. You help as somebody who has a certain skill, somebody who has a certain mission. If people are looking for things in that mission, then you are able to grab them, because that question is not asked for nothing. Nobody asks you who you are. Nobody cares to know who you are just to know another person, another profession that's around there. No, there's a reason. If we know that there's a reason, then we know that we do not introduce ourselves of who we are. That's why Goethe said in one of his quotes, he said, do not look at a man for what he is right now, but look at him for what he can become. And then you get the best out of that man.
Absolutely.
So the same way with mission, you don't look at yourself and describe yourself as who you are right now. But the moment you describe yourself as aligned to a certain mission, you are tasking yourself to say, here's the direction. Most importantly, you're telling the next person and saying, listen, friends, this is where I'm going. If you're coming this way, in case, come with me and I'll take you to there. Now, you begin to build a crowd, you begin to have impact, you begin to have a group of people who you are providing the service as who you are.
Powerful.
I love it. I love the word that you use, pursuit. Two very quick jokes came to mind while you're saying that. One, a very lighter joke. I think when you go for a job and they ask you all this stuff, and you say, well, yeah, this is why I am. They say, okay, probation, 3 or 6 months. Which one you want? So that's for them to see what you're going to pursue. Yeah, in business. But here, well, I don't know if it's funny to some people, but I think it's funny.
The key is never tell people that you're telling a joke.
It's funny. It's just the way you told it. Sorry.
You're thinking so constructive to go and get the job, but there's a different set of people that think very constructive. They call it a job too. But there's another set of people that put them on probation. So the thieves figure out, right, we're going to hit this, wherever they're going to hit. And the police say, all right, well, let's see what they can pursue. Let's see what they'll become.
Oh, man.
They say. And the funny thing, you use that word pursuit, similar to what I said, feeding, but pursuit was a better, roundup for me in terms of what you said there. It's interesting to see. I'm using the police side of the coin as a side, because guys going to steal, that's not a job, that's just something wrong. But the police are applying the same principle. They go on and they stake you up now. They say, oh yeah, you can catch him in the moment. Yeah. And then they, boom, they nip you. Hold on, wait, let's flip to the one with the job. So you're on probation now. There's like, yeah, good. How did you do? How, final manager, how did you do this week? Yeah, tick the box. A probation time coming up now. Everybody say, man, you're doing real good, And then the probation period ends. And they turn around and say, well, actually, you did say this, and you did hit the KPIs, and you did. Actually, yeah, you're really what you said, We're proud of you. We give you this job, huh? So yes, it is. I love that. Very much love it.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
We pretty much out of time. We're out of time. I was like about.
My fault.
No. It's. I mean, as long as we deliver the meat, then
That's it.
that's the key. But just in conclusion, I believe that the most important words that you and I can utter to ourselves is the words "I am."
Yes.
Because when you get to a place where when you are not defined by anything around you, you're not defined by what you do, you're not defined by what you look like, where you live, how much you earn. You're not defined by anything, but it's just I am. And I like the way that Chidozi put it, because remember now we are always in a place where we evolve. We are always at a place where we change.
Yes.
The person that I was yesterday, I'm not the same person. I was laughing at the missus some time ago. She was saying, "You know what? You are not the man that I've married." So, yes, baby, you are absolutely right.
Right. Yeah.
You are not the man that I am not the man that you've married, and that is a good thing. That's a compliment, because
growing. Yes.
That's a compliment.
I mean,
maybe
you're evolving.
She might not have meant it as a compliment, but that is absolutely a compliment.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As long as it doesn't follow your bags outside, and so.
I find myself in the garage. You gotta go Lala in the garage. No. But you know what?
Start fighting with the cat and the dog. Move over. I need my spot.
You see, and the thing is, and you know how powerful that is, because if we can understand that, we are like because the Bible describes in a certain way, we are like the wind. And I want to add even to that, you are like water. You are always never changing. Today you are ice, tomorrow you are steam. And man, you are always changing, always changing. You are never constant, but changing in a good way. Because even the word even says that become all things for all men, not compromising, but you are at a place where knowing that your objection is to be a blessing to those around you, and you are not boxed in. And even though you in yourself, you within yourself know that you are on a journey of self-discovery. That's one of the most important things that you and I should come to realize, that I'm this journey that you are walking. You think you are a good man right now, just keep on walking, because you will get better. If you think you are an amazing entrepreneur right now, just keep on walking, because things are getting better. And sometimes we can get swallowed up by the daily concerns and all the challenges of life. But if we just continue to walk and just believe that no, we are not, you will never walk alone. You are not by yourself. And there's always a hand that is not only God Himself, but because He surrounds you with people. Because remember, whenever help shows up, it shows up as a person in flesh most of the time. But if you really need some serious help and you get some angelic, some supernatural spiritual help. Now we know now then we know that you are in real trouble. You need
Yes.
some serious intervention. But that's why it's important for us to know that we have to get good in relationships.
Yes.
Because for us to even see the manifestation of our dreams, you and I will never be able to do it by ourselves. Forget it. If you're at a place right now where you think that, oh no, you know what, I have a dream. Yeah, you have a dream, but the question is whether you'll be able to see that dream come to pass.
Yes.
And that's why we should really invest in our relationship. We should invest in and not make it all about ourselves. Yes, your dream is important, but that's why it's important to have a big dream, so that other people can be included in that dream, so that everyone can see themselves. Oh, I can see myself fit in there. Like even what Chido was saying, that you will be able to recognize, no, I can't walk with you because what you're doing does not line up what I'm doing. And when you come to realize that, oh, we are gelling quite nicely. I like what you're doing. Let's collaborate, and let's make.
I was laughing for a moment to myself there, because some guys tell their wives the dream, and then she turns around and says, "But where am I in this thing?"
Yeah, it's true, because you're the only one in there. All the kids are sitting on the shelf. The wife is sitting on the somewhere in the sofa and not knowing. You just all by yourself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of time, and we want to make sure that we don't get in trouble with your ladies, because as I always say, I still want to come and eat some chicken at your house, and when I show up, it's like, oh, this is the guy that's been keeping you every Wednesday. I know one that. But guys, let's call it a night. And thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for your contribution. And gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to this session. I believe that you've received some value from the session, and we're going to continue to show up here every Wednesday. And our faith is still out there to believe that you will come and join us very soon. All right. Have an amazing week, and we will see you guys soon. All right. Cheers.
Thank you, guys. God bless you.
Okay.
God bless.
Bye.
Bye-bye.